On tonight's video. So I'm going to talk tonight about something that I think is probably the holy grail of questions when people try and lose weight, and that is, can you still eat the foods that you enjoy and lose weight? And the question is, yes you can. Because weight loss, very simply, is calories in, calories out. So you need to be, I preach this all the time and I keep saying it, you have to be eating less than you expend, okay? So if you can account for these treats, I don't really like calling it that, but people know what it means. If you can account for these treats, you absolutely can eat them and still lose weight, okay? Now, I will say, as a side note, it is a lot easier to do this if you count your calories. Just because it really does open your eyes to how many calories are in these so-called treats, because they do add up very, very quickly. And doesn't seem like a lot of food, because it doesn't really fill you up, is a lot of food in calorie terms, okay? So I will say that you can do it without counting calories, but I would say it's a lot harder to do, and that's definitely a much harder of a skill, but it is possible. So I wanted to just tell you a little quick story. So I do this. So every single Sunday I have a takeaway of some sort, and I tend to go out on Saturday nights. And just for example, last night I went out for my sister's birthday, and I looked at the menu and I decided I was going to be a bit of a fatty and I was going to have 3 courses. So I normally, on a normal day, eat 5 meals, okay? So because I knew I was going to eat 3 courses at this restaurant, during the day, all I had was a protein shake and 3 coffees, because I was accounting for the calories that I was going to eat in the evening during the day. Now, that may seem extreme to a lot of people, and you don't have to do it this way, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But let's say, for example, I decided that I was going to have 2 courses in the evening. I probably would have had a small meal during the day. If I was only going to have 1 course, I may have had a small meal and a snack. But the point is, I accounted for the calories I was going to have at night during the day. And that is the biggest thing, okay? Now, like I say, you don't have to do this on the day. That might seem extreme to people, to have just 1 shake and 3 coffees. And you don't have to do it daily. And a very huge point to make about this is that fat loss is not predicated on a daily basis. So the deficit that you're in, eating less than you expend, is more governed by a weekly and monthly basis than a daily basis, okay? You need to be in a deficit on a weekly basis. So, you don't have to, I decided to do it on the day because I prefer doing that. That's just me personally. But if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. So let's say, for example, that you were going out the evening and you knew that it was probably going to push you about 1,000 calories over your allowance for the day. You could either, a couple of ways of doing this, say for example for the 2 days before, you could eat 500 calories less than you normally would, and then you've almost borrowed 1,000 calories to take with you on the Saturday. You could also do that 2 days afterwards. So for the 2 days following, you eat 500 calories less than you normally would. Maybe you don't want to go that extreme, so instead for the 5 days following that, you eat 200 calories less than you do normally. But the point is that you borrow those 1,000 calories and you get them back over a week period. And that is how fat loss works, okay? So over a weekly and monthly, not daily. So you can almost borrow those calories and bring them back at a later point over the week, okay? So that's just one way of looking at it. Now, I understand that this can be difficult. For example, last night I went to a restaurant and they didn't have calorie information. So that is more difficult, definitely. And it's a skill that you develop, but one easier way of doing it is, for example, if you're going to be having a lot of carbs at night and you know you're going to be having a lot of carbs, you cut back on your carbs during the day. If you know you're going to be having a lot of fat in the evening, you cut back on your fat during the day. And again, it is a skill that you will develop. Another sort of take on this is, like I say, I normally have a takeaway on a Sunday, and what I do normally have is I have a Chinese. Now, the problem with this is it is almost near on, well, it's very difficult to guesstimate how many calories are in a Chinese takeaway. So what I've started doing, because I'm going on sort of like a mini cut as such and just trying to see how this works for me, I've started having a pizza from a supermarket on a Sunday, because I enjoy it almost as much. Not quite as much, because Chinese is 100% my favourite food. But I still enjoy the pizza, and I have the calorie information on the packet. So it's so much easier for me to put that into perspective for the day. So for example, I had a pizza tonight, and I had 3 meals leading up to that instead of 4, and had my pizza. So I've still, you know, had a good amount of food for the day and got my pizza in. and I'm still under my calories for the day, so that will still help me to lose weight and fat, okay? Now, what I want to say about this is this isn't for everybody, because, you know, a lot of people maybe can't do this because, you know, maybe it gets out of hand and they can't just stay at this one treat and it just turns into a weekend binge. And that is fine, because, you know, for you guys, you may have to go a short period of time restricting yourselves with these kind of things, and that is okay. And you always get this when people say, yeah, but you can't restrict things. You know, it's not allowed. You can't do that. The thing is, you can, because if you have to do it for a short period of time, then you have to do it for a short period of time. And it's a concept I'm going to talk about tomorrow night in my video, in that diets don't have to be sustainable forever. It's a very interesting concept that I came across very recently. I'm going to talk about it more tomorrow night. But they don't have to be sustainable forever. You can short-term restrict yourself to get to your goal weight quicker, so that you can go on the maintenance and bring back in your treats, etc. But again, I'll talk about that tomorrow night. So, like I say, if you can do this though, and you can keep it to a moderation treat, and you can still account for it, you can absolutely eat these things and still lose weight, okay? Because like I say, weight loss is calories in versus calories out. It's not daily, it is weekly. So as long as you account for it at some point during the week, it will have no effect on your weight loss results. And let's be honest, if you can do that and still lose weight and still lose fat, why wouldn't you? Okay, so there's my video for tonight, guys. Hopefully you got some value from that. If you did, please feel free to like, comment and share. I always appreciate the engagement on the posts, and it does help to push it out to more people, and it's obviously my goal to reach as many people as I can and help as many people as I can. If you are not watching this on my YouTube, just be aware I do have a channel, and it's just my name as it appears on the video here, Nathan Bancroft, and it's just a nice convenient space for you to see all of my videos. I'll put them all on there, so feel free to head over there, hit subscribe, and feel free to like the videos. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I shall see you on the next video.